citizen of the world, as he moved about the world, as he was curious about people, curious about their lives, curious about their faith, and as he was willing to give of himself into all of that. And as he gave of himself, we were all blessed through that. We met him and we discovered each other. So on behalf of St Stephen's Lutheran community and the Lutheran Church in general, we also give thanks for the life that we were blessed through and that we're blessed to share with.
Thank you, James. May I now invite the Reverend Samson Asavatham to come forward.
Dear sisters and brothers, I am Reverend Samson from the Emmanuel Tamil Church, Adelaide. I thank Mr. Naidu's family and the officiant of his service, Reverend John Riley, for giving me an opportunity to say a short eulogy about Naidu. I would like to quote a few incidents and memories which helped me to understand the great person in Naidu. My experience with Naidu as a person, his joy and delight. Once when I was talking to his son Joe, he explained how much delighted Naidu was when he found the Tamil church. I would like to read a sentence from his letter to me, just I was reading this morning. It was pleasing to be with so many God's people, and we felt blessed in the company of all. So he responded to me after attending one of the programs through his email. Mr. Naidu loved the Tamil church, and he was the first person to come to the church. Though he was traveling from Modbury to, St. Agnes to Alberton, he was the first person to be in the church. He was also humorous. He shared jokes and he was very friendly with people. So initially, just because of his name Naidu, I asked whether he can able to follow Tamil during the service. And he responded to me in Tamil saying, "Tamilla solunga." And everybody started laughing during the service. But he was also fond of quietly attending the church service and encouraging others to take up the roles. He sit behind and encourage people to be part of the service. But when it comes to volunteering, he will be the first person to raise the hand. So we were having a discussion about one of the dinners which we were organizing, and he was part of the meeting. We were there, and he suddenly raised up and said, "I will provide food for 40 people." And I said, "Okay, yeah, there is another person also who can provide some food. I will consult with him. He always provides us food. So I'll get back to you, and then you can organize something." So before I'm getting back to him, he filled his fridge with all the ingredients, groceries and the meat and everything to get ready for the dinner. So he was just that generous and very supportive and contributive, which I'm witnessing here in front of you. And I also heard Naidu was a good cook, and he used to get up very early in the morning, make a lot of noises, and wake up people in the morning by cooking, but also very much particular to make sure that everybody has a breakfast at home before he goes for work. So he was just that loving and caring and helping person. And the last call I had from Naidu was 2016 Christmas, 25th of December 2016. He called me twice, but he couldn't able to convey the greetings to me. But he was intended to wish me, but he couldn't express And that's how I felt something is going on in him. And later I recognized after the diagnosis he's having a serious journey ahead. So after getting to know Naidu for a while, very quickly I entered into the pastoral and supportive mode after his diagnosis. I was in constant touch with the family to know how things are going and find ways to support them pastorally. I made several visits in the hospital, home, praying and supporting them, and also through phone call as well. Mr. Naidu was a strong believer of prayer, and he was always very attentive to prayer, even he was critically ill. He used to nod his head like that after the prayer. So Naidu was fully aware of what is going on in him. He was basically working in the medical department. So he expressed all his views and suggestions to Serene about the future maintenance of the family. So my eulogy will be incomplete and insufficient if I don't mention about the deep and true love, affection and care and support Serene, Joe and Vidya provided to Mr. Naidu in his challenging journey. I had the privilege of being with the family for the whole journey of Naidu in the recent time. Though they were very desperate, tired and hopeless, they fulfilled the responsibility with great joy. When I was writing this, the word of Mother Teresa came to my mind. When she was asked, how we are doing this many things? And she said, we are doing little things with big smile. So the family was always filled with joy in helping and supporting him amidst of all the tiredness and desperateness and hopelessness they had in their lives. And I had the opportunity of being with Naidu for both his birthdays, when the illness was diagnosed in 2016, and also the recent one the day before he passed away. I was with him celebrating his last birthday. So I can witness the way he went to God and the contribution of the family in looking after him. So Mr. Naidu is still living according to the word of Jesus. I am the resurrection and life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. So Naidu is still living in our hearts. His spirit returned to God, and his soul rests in peace in God. Amen.
Thank you, Samson. And now from the family, lovely Victor.
My name is Lovely. I call him Anna. Naidu Anna is a very generous man. He accepted me as his sister. He used to call me, this is my little sister, and he used to introduce me to everybody he met. This is my little sister, my favorite sister. That is his generosity. He was a loving father. He had aspirations and lots of love for his family, his children. He was always there. He was always protective of them, guiding them in helping them to choose, make the right decision, bringing them back into the fold when they make mistakes, and always available when they needed him. He was a fun-loving person. He was joyful company. He enjoyed being with people. He didn't want to be alone. One thing he missed being in Australia was that he was alone a lot at home when everyone went to work. People were busy with their lives. He was always surrounded by friends and family, and he absolutely loved sharing and being joyous and enjoying in other people's happiness. He loved it when the kids visited him. There was not a single time that I remember when I had visited him with my children. The moment he sees us, he would go straight to the kitchen. Like magic, he'll bring out the best dishes out in no time. Anna, please don't make anything. We don't have much time. We have to go. Illama, 10 minutes. The 10 nimisham. I'll be back. And it was like magic. I don't know how he does that. And it was always different, always delicious. So I must confess that when I come, I know I'm going to enjoy something really nice. He taught me a few things as well to make. He enjoyed teaching Vidya how to cook. I think they had fun together doing the cooking. He was an elder to my children who was always helpful, loving, and a constant. We know that he is there, irrespective of the circumstances, irrespective of the family differences and everything. He was there. He was a wonderful son and brother to his mother and his siblings. The times that we spent talking about his family, the love he had shared, the longing he had to be with them, how he enjoyed his mom, how he enjoyed his siblings, showed how much of a loving son, a loving brother he was. He was a trusted friend. The friends he had made when he was a young trainee or a student or started his work, he still kept in contact with, and he still have relationship with. That is a man who is a lasting man. That is a man whose memory will be there forever. He gives a positive feeling in your heart when you think about him. You think about him with good feelings. That is the gift he had given us, to remember him, to learn from him, to show the love to the family like he does. He did. Anna was very kind. I must say, we all face a lot of problems. There is family dynamics, difference in opinions, but I have never heard him say a bad thing about anybody to me. We have had conversations that are productive, that are helpful, not belittling, not unkind. I really like that about you, Anna. You'll be missed. You are the thread which joined a lot of us together. We will remember you. And I pray that God rest your soul and give comfort to your family.
Thank you, lovely. And now, Joseph, Naidu's son.
First of all, I would like to thank Reverend John for opening up the church for us. I'd like to thank the other reverends here. Thank Reverend Reverend Sampson, Reverend James, Reverend Malcolm, and we really thank you for the spiritual support that the family received, especially during this troubling last year. And on behalf of the family, I'd like to thank everybody, one and all, for coming here, his colleagues, friends, relatives, family. Thank you for coming here. My father, the last 1 year has been very painful, and I really wouldn't want to dwell on the last 1 year because my father wouldn't like us remembering him for the sickness. Rather, he would like us to remember him for who he was and what he did. He grew up in Vellore, India, and he was very much molded by the place. He has not been a day he has not looked back at his time there, both school and college, and studied at Wuris, and he studied at Christian Medical College, Vellore. He studied as a radiographer there, and it was there that he learned a lot of things, especially his love for Jesus. He really did love Jesus, the story of Jesus, the story of a man who gave without expecting anything in return. And he fell in love with him. He used to play basketball in both school and college. His friends, especially the last 1 year, would get in touch and they would tell me about their time together and stories about the younger days. They tell me he even had an audience to watch him play in the evening, and played cricket, and he was very into sports. He was my first basketball coach, and fortunately I'm not anywhere as good as he was. He was a very bubbly, happy, positive person. He would always tell me, look at only the positivity in people, don't look at